5 signs you are not lazy, but burnt out. Burnout is described as a bad condition of emotional, bodily, and mental weariness produced by extreme stress and a difficulty in coping with it, and it is a term that is frequently abused and thrown about by many individuals. According to a 2010 poll, almost 75% of adults in the United States have experienced burnout symptoms, with over 40% of cases being serious. Now, more than ever, we need to teach ourselves and better grasp the nature of burnout, particularly when we are in danger. You shouldn't just glance at your production levels to determine if you're burnt out or lazy. You should assess your overall mood, stress management, work satisfaction, and any physical problems. Burnout is a long-term condition that can be caused by a variety of circumstances, including being overworked, low compensation, a lack of support, or repeated harsh treatment from superiors. Burnout can be caused by a variety of factors, however, the signs and symptoms of burnout can occasionally overlap with laziness. Burnout is a mental, emotional, and physical tiredness that affects everyone. Continuous and severe stress leads to burnout. As a result, motivating oneself becomes extremely difficult due to low productivity. This could be one of the primary reasons for the overlap between burnout and laziness. 1. You feel disconnected from everything. Depersonalization, often known as the permanent experience of being removed from oneself, is a psychological condition that occurs when a person feels is one of the symptoms of burnout that many people are unaware of or don't understand. Depersonalization is characterized by a weird sense of emotional numbing and emptiness, as if the individual is watching their existence from outside of themselves or following the process of every day as if on autopilot. They don't feel like themselves longer, they're uninterested in anything, and they're continuously plagued by a sense of powerlessness and incapacity to reclaim their sense of control. 2. You will be motivated. If you were just a lazy person, it would follow that you've been such a lazy bastard, with a few exceptional exceptions. After all, laziness is a personality feature, and personality traits tend to stick around. A lazy individual never feels like putting forth any effort or putting out any effort. However, if you were once self-motivated and high achiever, often excelling in specific areas, and have only lately become fatigued, indifferent, and unmotivated, it's more likely that you're suffering from burnout than laziness, as most people believe. 3. You are passionate. A noticeable difference between someone who is burnt out and someone who is lazy, similar to the previous point, is that the former once had things they were enthusiastic about but now find it difficult to find interest or pleasure in them. Burnout can make it difficult to do the things you once loved or felt enthusiastic about, whether it's a talent, a sport, or simply your academic/professional performance over time. Because of how hard you strained and drove yourself to the limit, you may start to loathe or hate it. Burnouts used to be passionate about things, but they may no longer be. Burnout makes it difficult to do the things you formerly loved and were passionate about, whether it be sports, talent, academics, or the workplace. You may dislike or loathe it as a result of how much you stretched yourself and forced yourself to the limit. 4. You have become moody and irritable. Have you recently been irritable and snappy? Do you ever feel like you're losing control of your emotions and you're not sure why? Moodiness and irritability, for example, are frequent but underappreciated burnout symptoms. This could be the reason if you're having trouble controlling your feelings, especially if it wasn't before. In contrast, lazy people are generally quite easygoing, mellow, placid, and unaffected by things. People who are lazy, on the other hand, are a contrast since they are unaffected by anything. However, people sometimes confuse laziness with burnout. You may not be lazy but still be unmoved by events. People who are burned out are more likely to lose their cool with acquaintances, coworkers, and family members. Dealing with everyday concerns such as preparing for a work meeting, delivering kids to school, and taking care of household chores may get overwhelming, especially when things don't go as planned. 5. Started neglecting your self-care? Sure, most lazy people don't care about their physical, mental, or emotional health. However, unlike individuals suffering from burnout, they were not always like this. In fact, neglecting self-care and socially retreating from others is one of the most alarming warning signs that someone is mentally and physically exhausted. They stop grooming themselves or looking well, they spend most of their time alone doing nothing since they're quickly overwhelmed by even the simplest of jobs, and they stop putting in the effort to groom themselves or look good. Changes will happen slowly. Finally, and maybe most critically, burnout occurs in stages. So all of the previous aspects, losing interest and drive in activities we used to enjoy, feeling disconnected from ourselves and everybody around us, socially withdrawing and neglecting our self-care, none of these things will happen quickly. The honeymoon phase, the onset of stress, chronic stress, burnout, and habitual burnout are the 5 key stages of burnout, according to studies. Many people start to show symptoms as early as the 2nd stage, when there is still a modest amount of stress, but enthusiasm, interest, motivation, and productivity are all starting to wane. By the 5th and final stage, burnout has become so entrenched in your life that the symptoms of mental and physical exhaustion become more chronic and difficult to treat, and you become more susceptible to psychological distress. The sooner you recognize the signs of burnout, the cheaper it will be to seek treatment and recover. That is why, rather than dismissing burnout as laziness, as most people do, it is critical to raise awareness about it. So, if you or someone you know is experiencing mental or emotional burnout, don't hesitate to speak with a mental health expert about it right away. Conclusion: if you can find the incentive and rewards to get your task done, you can overcome your laziness. Burnout is a far more serious condition that necessitates introspection and lifestyle modifications. It may be necessary to seek expert assistance or change jobs or careers. Lazy people, like burnouts, may need to change careers or jobs. Finding the drive to be productive throughout the day might be difficult at times at work. You're not driven by the outcome of your work, your salary, or the perks you obtain, for example. If you're considering changing jobs due to a lack of motivation, consider taking a class at a local school or online to help you find inspiration for something you enjoy and want to pursue. You may see if there are any employment or careers in that industry once you've found it, so you'll be willing to work and learn. Make sure you are subscribed to get easy access to our videos by turning on notifications. Thanks for watching till the end.